But then there was one point that the collapse of the government happened and I left Afghanistan, and then I was in a refugee camp for 7 months. I think that was the lowest point of my life. I'm Behishta Nazir, coming from Afghanistan, so I'm an HEC Imagine Fellow, and this year is the second and last year of my master's at HEC. I'm doing sustainability and social innovation. I think there are three important points in my life that shapes my journey, and the first one I would say is the time when I was graduated from university and I started working in private sector. So I joined one of the first impact investing platforms in Afghanistan. We were working with small businesses and startups that were creating social or environmental impacts, working with a couple of women-led businesses, which was inspiring. So I think it was important for me because I was working with a group of young people who were very inspiring for me, but also because we were so ambitious and had so much hope. But then there was one point that the collapse of the government happened and I left Afghanistan, and then I was in a refugee camp for 7 months. I think that was the lowest point of my life, but I had to kind of like turn it around and use it, though there was so much uncertainty and I didn't have control over my life. But I think it taught me a lot, especially to become more resilient. And that was the time that I applied for HEC Imagine program, which was a transformative experience for me. I applied for BGF scholarships when I was in Kabul. I was thinking to do my master's in France, but that was before the collapse. And then the collapse happened. HEC initiated this amazing program, and then it was first time for them doing this. So they thought to do this through partnership with French Institute in Kabul, and they got my contact. So I got an email from Sophie Demish, which I admire a lot. And yeah, she presented me the program and I applied when I was in the camp. It took me a couple of months, but yeah, I'm here today. I was not expecting it at all. It was, I think, the first 2 months living in the camp, so much uncertainty. My days were filled with watching so many series, reading books, trying to work with my colleagues in Afghanistan, some online work and so on. I was not expecting it, but then when I got the first email, it was just, like an introduction call, not actually something very specific about the scholarship or me being part of it. But then when we had the call, I was a little bit, at some point, confused whether I should go or not. I was hesitating because I was in the camp. I couldn't even I didn't have a very stable internet connection. But then at some point it became a very big hope for me when I was in the camp because I was working for that so hard. So I think alongside my courses, there was two things. First, that with 3 other fellows at HEC, I co-created the HEC Imagine Association. So we are working to help new Imagine Fellows on campus to integrate, but also to organize events and conferences on business and peace. And secondly, I think doing a couple of interviews, giving testimonies and speech, I became an ambassador for the program, which was so meaningful for me because this program is such an amazing and transformative opportunity. And of course, I want more people to know about it, to spread the word, and more people to support this initiative. So I think these two were the most purposeful or meaningful activities for me on campus. I have received a lot through this opportunity. It gave me so much hope, and I feel like it empowered me. It gave me a community, a sense of belonging, an opportunity to study, while if I was in Afghanistan, I would have been denied of that right as a girl or as a woman. So I think it helped me to heal and to go out and to integrate, but also because that was something that was meaningful, because I have received a lot and I wanted to do something and give back. I think the very difficult part of this journey was the very first months when I arrived at HEC, and I'm glad that I had 2 years at HEC, because if it was 1 year, I think I wouldn't be in the same position, or I wouldn't had the opportunity to enjoy as much as I do today. Because when I arrived, I was kind of traumatized because I had to leave my country, I had to leave my family, I left in a refugee camp. It wasn't my choice to leave my country, I had to flee. And then also the fact that I always lived with my family, so it was the very first time that I had to live by my own self. So it was difficult. And what helped me, I think, the fact that I pushed myself. I worked as part of the Imagine Association. I got membership in other student associations at HEC, like Women in Business. I tried new sports like running, so it helped me not only to heal, but like to go out, meet new people, but also to integrate on campus and to enjoy my life on campus. I think that was helpful to change, but it also helped me grow because now I love my life on campus. And I feel like I have changed. Living alone is now something that I enjoy, and I think it turned out to be a strength today. When I came to France, my husband accompanied me. So he had good contacts, he knew people in France, he had friends, he was speaking French, and we had like 2 weeks. We spent very good time in Paris. We loved it. But then when he left, everything started for me, like the difficulty, because I was all alone. And I already left my family. I moved from Afghanistan to Abu Dhabi and then to Germany and then to France. And at some point I was trying to convince my husband on a phone call, see if I come back, I find another program in Germany. I started learning German, I stay with the family, and I would be happy as well because here I'm so lonely, I'm a stranger, I'm a newcomer and so on. But he was the one pushing me, like, see Behishta, where you are, you deserve this and you can do it, you're so strong. And yeah, I think I experienced that. I think when I arrived, it was not only like the academic program or part of my life. I had to integrate, like trying to find ways to make friends, to meet with people, to find that sense of belonging. And of course, that was difficult. With the veil even, like I was trying to integrate, but I was not covering my head when I left, the refugee camp. So at some point I was going back to my room at the end of the day and I was thinking, this is not me, I'm missing something. And I kind of felt that this is part of my identity and I love it, I want to keep it. So I started wearing it back. And then in the very first beginning, I was not speaking about my journey or my experience with people. I was, I think, mostly trying to show that I'm a normal student, international student, having a normal journey, which was not the case because I was going through a lot. Well, to be graduated in 2 weeks, I moved to Germany because I came to France from Germany. So I joined my husband and we plan to rebuild our impact investing platform. This time the idea is to support migrant and refugee entrepreneurs. And it is exciting because I think I have received a lot throughout the last 2 years. Maybe throughout my life, I was always so lucky to meet so many good people, to have so much inspiration and support. And obviously for me it's important to give this back. So I want to work with my husband. The idea is to help refugee entrepreneurs and migrant entrepreneurs, to give them the hope, support and the resources that they deserve to start meaningful businesses in Europe when they start everything from scratch, because I also lived the same experience. So I think this is something that is meaningful for me. And for the long term, I envision myself going back home because, it is my home and I didn't have the choice to leave. But also I feel like with the experience, resources and the network from HEC, there is a lot that I can do back there to create change and to do something good, to bring some positive change. So I hope one day soon. I think I have a mix of feelings because I am excited to go back, to join my family, to be graduated, to start a new chapter of my life, to work on my own project. Because now I feel I have become more independent, resilient, and I have grown a lot. But I'm also a little bit sad because now I feel kind of attached to HEC, and I think I'm gonna miss it. I'm sure at some point I was thinking, okay, come on Behishta, you are not supposed to live your whole life as a student at HEC. You have to go back, this is the reality, and feel the excitement, make your decision and move on and be ready for what is coming for you. So I have different feelings, but also about my life at HEC. I think it was very specific because I was coming from a different background with a different experience, but I'm very grateful because I have achieved a lot And I have received a lot because people like the community at HEC, my fellows in SASI, they're the best. They were so nice, the foundation, the HEC administration, everyone was so supportive. And I think this journey was more than an academic journey for me because I have evolved and I had experienced growth personally, not only academically. And I think it was beyond an academic journey, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity.